This is Brian. And let's talk about, he wants to explain why women should follow the Bible. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Oh, I'm amazing. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. So, okay, you think women should follow the Bible. Do you think all women, just Christian women? Let's pick that point.
Yeah, no, the other guy. No, I think it would be beneficial for most women to follow the Bible, but I'm going to preface this with a lot, so just hear me out for like 3 seconds. I think there's a lot of Protestants, and so like what happens is there's like a bad idea, and then there's a lot of bad ideas built on more bad ideas, right? So one of the things is that, yes, I believe women should follow the Bible, but they should only follow men that follow the Bible. And
we're getting worse. We're getting worse.
How are we getting worse?
Are you saying women should follow? So, because I'm confused, because the Bible, like that verse in 1 Peter, I can look up the exact reference if you want. It tells women that even if your husband isn't following the Bible, that you should submit to him.
Yeah,
So do we have to? Does he have to go?
Hold on. I could explain that too, but like these are like super complex things. But that's if you're a woman, that verse is if you're a woman that finds Christ while you're married, right?
Yeah, I don't care what it is. It's bad. It's like horrible advice that leads women to staying in abusive relationships.
Yeah, so that's
just
all,
straight up.
Yeah, no, it's complicated. I understand that,
it's
right?
Really not complicated. It is not complicated to say that women should not be in relationships with abusive dudes. That's like so easy to say.
Yeah, that I would agree with you, and actually, like the apostolic churches would agree with you as well, right?
So how good is your book? Already can say that right there is bad advice.
Yeah.
Why can't we just have another book that doesn't include that in it?
Yeah, that you're obfuscating. So hold on. I was trying to explain. You're coming from like a Protestant culture and environment, okay? And it's for a time in a place that doesn't exist anymore. So you have to understand that, like, for example, the church is the bride of Christ, correct?
I don't believe in any of that. So I don't know what you want me to like.
No, I understand you don't believe in it, but I'm saying,
does the Bible say that? Yes, the Bible makes the claim that the church, ominous church, is the bride of Christ, whatever that means, because it certainly doesn't mean whatever we now think that means.
I don't really care what anyone thinks now. Well, my point being is that, for example, in the early time of Christianity, you know, in the first couple of centuries, was the bride of Christ abused by the Roman authorities?
The bride of Christ isn't a human being. Like, I can't go down that analogy with you because I don't agree with it.
So we've got to find an analogy. It's the facts. No, it's the fact.
It's not a fact. So, it's just not a fact. It's a book that you're using the claims from to try to say something. And I'm saying that's not going to work here.
No. I keep saying, like, you're using Protestant ideology.
I'm not using any ideology because I don't believe any of this bullshit. I'm telling you what a Bible verse says. We can look it up in any translation of the Bible you would like to.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could say that, but it doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't matter to the church. A Bible verse. See, you're coming with.
Then why are you calling?
I'm
your point was that women should follow the. Brian, your point was that women should follow the Bible. So I want to get back to that. I want to get back to why you think that.
I'm actually I'm trying to explain that, but you're jumping all over me. And if you'd let me explain for 5 seconds, I can. So the Bible is part of the church, and the church is part of the Bible. the church uses the Bible as like guidance, but it has to go along with the culture and the traditions of the church. So what happens in Protestantism is they take sola scriptorum and they take the Bible like 100% right without looking at the ideology and the understanding of the time and the period, right? So no, if you're in a relationship with a man that is abusing you terribly, no, you have every right to divorce the man and leave the man. That every church
if I'm a random woman who's never read the Bible before and decides, you know what, suddenly I feel a pull to God, I don't know what to do in my life right now, I'm in this abusive relationship, I'm going to read the Bible and see what I should do.
Yeah,
what is she going to think idea. That she should? It would be a terrible. It absolutely would. You happen to have been able to bendy pretzel twist and go back and be like, well, this part is relevant, but this part isn't anymore, and this part relates to that time.
No,
the only difference between you and
I never said it wasn't I wasn't saying it was relevant.
I don't think any of it is relevant at all, and I think it was not. It was not relevant then either. It was still bad advice. It was bad advice for women then, and it's bad advice for women now.
Yeah, so here's the thing, though. You're like hyper-focused on only women. What about children? And
dude, you called the point? You called the show to say why women should. So that's why I'm hyper-focused on women, because I'm sticking to the topic. We can talk about how it's harmful for children, like the ones that got raped, the ones that got dashed against rocks, the ones that were wiped out in genocide and wiped out in flood. If you want to talk about children, happy to do that. We could talk about the ones being abused by priests all the time.
You're gish-gallishing. Stop gish-gallishing.
Okay.
You're what?
Well, I don't know, but if you're going to tell me to stop on my own, I just did too. I'm actually going to drop the call because as soon as you start telling me how to talk on my own show, I'm gonna use my drop button. Did you want to talk to me more, Alyssa?
I had nothing to really say.
You're like, no.
You all know that I'm usually so patient with people when they're being respectful, and when they start being condescending, that's when I really just lose it, and I can't handle that, unfortunately. That's where I kind of am like, yeah.
Agreed. The other ones we were actually having
better conversations.
I'm not like thrilled about the productivity of the conversation, but nobody was being condescending or mansplaining. And it was also frustrating to hear him like contradict himself in the midst of his like 7-minute call. And he obviously it's so interesting because I feel like even in 7 minutes, I can hear the ego that this person is calling with, where the other people who called, the other two theists who called, I felt like had drastically less ego that they were bringing to the table, where they were like a little more understanding and a little more willing to have like a back and forth, even if they were kind of going in circles. This man was just calling with all ego and no brain. Yeah, I understand when you are having your points smashed over and over again, it is difficult to want to not like lash out in a conversation, but don't tell the hosts how to run their own calls. That's advice number one.
I think that in general, sometimes the people who call and have that sort of attitude don't understand the cadence of call-in shows. Like, I don't think that they understand that it's not like sometimes people go on TikTok live and like straight up yell at each other, and that's not what this show is.
Right. Yeah, I'd like actual information to be used. And mostly when we give a point, I would like it to be responded to, not just skipped over and like, no, let me tell you. No, let me tell you, and then you can respond. Anyways.
Yeah. And like a subscriber, Jimmy will have to go on a polyamorous dating show to win some prize money.
Wait, I want to do that. So also hit like and subscribe, and then go to patreon.com/calltheline. I was trying to make you laugh and ruin the take. That's why that silly face earlier. If I was on a polyamorous dating show, I would just choose everybody. Except Frederick. Leave a comment.